Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It's Tuesday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA, and this is Tuesdays with DX Engineering. And joining me today is Guy, K5TGS. Guy is a member of the DX Engineering sales and support team working out of Texas. How are you today, Guy?
I'm doing great, Tim. Beautiful weather here.
Yes, better than the snow up here. But hey, spring is coming. And speaking of spring, I understand you've been getting a lot of calls from new licensees, from people that are just getting licensed for the first time.
Yes, actually, I think there's a bit of an uptick, especially in the technician class, which is quite interesting because these are people with no background. They're calling us, certainly looking for products, but also what do I do next? I have this ticket and I want to get involved. So those are exciting. Uh, they take a bit of time, but we've got so much to offer with HTs, mobile radios. Then you talk about VHF, UHF antennas, and we just have such a huge line to support all of those things.
So what is happening here, and tell me if I've got this wrong, Guy, is that you are an Elmer. You're the after pass the license Elmer because they're calling you and asking for help.
They are, and it's interesting too. And I know this happens with our other associates. We get to know people, so it's not uncommon for me to pick up the phone. There's a question. He said, "Hey, I've talked with you before," so it can actually be an ongoing Elmer relationship, even though we're not local to one another.
Right, right. But through email and of course on
Yeah.
the phone, you can get a lot done. So let's talk a little bit about some of the antennas. I know we've added a few lines here recently to the DX Engineering portfolio of antennas. Why don't you talk about some of the new stuff?
Well, one of the new ones I picked up is from an organization called Chelegans, and I got to know them through their VNA. We have a couple of their VNAs we sell, so I bought one of them, and I was really impressed with the quality, the manual, everything worked great. But then thinking of portable and especially new general class licensees, they want a portable antenna. They can go out to the park, do POTA, whatever. But the Chelegans line of an HF antenna is amazing. It comes in a little case. It has everything down to the winder for the counterpoise system is just great. It goes up literally in minutes because the telescopic whip is actually marked in frequencies and bands. So you just pull that out, set it, take a analyzer, fine tune it, and you're on the air. And
So Chelegans, let's go over the spelling of Chelegans, Guy.
well, it reminds me of Elecraft, which is for elegant uh, craftsmanship. I take this to be Chinese elegance, and it's Chelenge. But I am just impressed with the craftsmanship, the machining of the hardware. Everything comes well made, and actually, instruction manual is also quite well done.
So, Guy, what bands would this Chelegans antenna work on? What bands?
Well, I use them mainly for 20 and 40, which for me are the most popular. And it probably does 10 meters too, but I haven't gone to the other side of those as yet. But it is broadbanded, it's portable, it has a little stake you push in the ground, so it's very easy to set up.
So, do you have one of these yourself,
I
Guy?
do. I do. And I was telling a customer the other day, I had the KX3, which was 10 watts. I put it up in the front yard. It was literally about 20 yards from the house, 10 yards from trees. I set it up, tuned it with a rig expert, just fine tuning went very quickly. And I was in North Texas. I'm literally talking around the country on 10 watts. Now I know propagation is good, but gosh, I couldn't ask for anything more. And the price point is the other thing about this antenna system. I thought it was very fairly priced.
So you get this Chelegans antenna, and how long does it take you to set up?
First time I set it up, of course, you have to put together three items. One is which is the top telescopic whip, pull that up to the marking, put out four pre-made counterpoises, walk over to the coax, adjust for SWR. I'd probably say 5 minutes tops.
Wow. So 5 minutes, you have the antenna set up. It's very portable. And then if you take something like the ICOM IC705,
Hmm.
that's battery powered, and it's going to, if you run off the batteries, it's going to give you 5 watts. But, and as you point out, conditions are really good right now.
And I'm going to use mine with the IC7100 because it will handle 100 watts single sideband. So that was the other intriguing thing. I didn't want an antenna that was QRP only. So good price point, really good craftsmanship, portable, good power.
So, 100 watts, because you're right. A lot of these portable antennas have power limitations on them. So
Mhm.
let's talk about that just a little bit. What about FT8 with this antenna?
Well, you'd really have to back it down. I would say probably 20 watts or so. I didn't see a rating. I'm not an FT8 person, so I didn't really look for that, but I don't recall seeing a rating. But you certainly want lower power so you don't overload things.
Right. And what is the model number of this one, Guy?
This one is the MC-750, MC750.
The MC-750. So if you go to our website, Guy, and you put in the search box, which is right at the top of the homepage,
Yes.
MC Mike Charlie .7 or -750. That the Chelegans antenna is going to come up.
Yes. And again, it's a very nice. I saw a YouTube or two on it, and I thought, well, that's intriguing. So I stepped out, bought it, and I am not disappointed at all.
And so let's get into some more details on your setup. What kind of coax are you using to go between the radio and the antenna?
I have a 25-foot run of RG8X, so it's easy to handle. The coax does not pack up into the case that comes with the antenna, but I just carry that separately, and that gives me a good distance. If I'm in a park, I can set it out away from, say, a picnic table or the camper, the RV, and run it over to where I'm stationed.
Well, the Parks on the Air program, which you've been referring to as POTA, is just extremely popular. And in fact, I think it's getting even more popular as time goes on. And now that we're headed into some good weather, and of course, the weather's really good right now in
Yeah,
Texas. It's not too
yeah,
hot, right?
correct. And I'll mention too, POTA, another line that we picked up recently, and I happen to have met this guy several months ago, is Rez Antennas, REZ. And we carry his product line now. He's from the Houston area, but he's another one who makes a very nice. I don't know how these people get the machining done, but it is so well done. And he has his is a little higher priced, but then you get some other things with it. You can get it with a backpack. But again, for POTA folks, that's another very popular antenna.
Yes, and a lot of good feedback and reviews from the Res antenna users, that have got those
Yeah.
antennas. And we are just excited to have Chelegans and also Res amongst our over 170 different vendors that we have. Now, Guy, are you thinking about coming to Hamvention this year?
I don't think so. I'll probably work the phones from here. I know a lot of you folks will be down there and we'll be a bit short staffed, but probably I was there last year, but probably not this year.
Well, and it's good to take off a year every once in a while, recharge your batteries. And Guy, I heard a rumor, and maybe you can help me with this because you and I haven't talked about this, but I heard a rumor that Hamcom was coming back to Dallas.
Well, they've come back much smaller, very small. They've had two years now. They have had a meeting, and it's a completely different group of folks. They're trying to get established, as you know, something like that takes a lot of time, a lot of planning, and financial resources. So there are a lot of folks here, including me, that would love to see something like that come back. But I think it's going to be a number of years for them to get anywhere close to what they were in years past.
The convention center in Plano, right,
Hmm.
was just fabulous. That was just such a nice location, and with I mean, there are a ton of hams in Texas, and I know Texas is a big state, but in the Dallas area, lots and lots of hams. So I'm really hopeful, and it sounds
Yeah.
like you are too, that this is going to come back.
Yeah, we really need something like that. We do have a couple of others, one in Houston, one about midway through the state, but nothing like Hamcation used to be.
Um, and and correct me if I'm wrong, but there used to be a Friday flea market operation down in the Dallas area. Are you familiar with that?
Well, decades ago, there was one literally just north of downtown Dallas that used to meet in the Heathkit parking lot. Now, now they're long gone, and so is that event. There was another one that was associated with a Tandy warehouse near Fort Worth. Those have both disappeared, unfortunately. Yeah,
Yeah, you always like to find these nuggets, these
yeah.
flea markets that just pop up. I remember north of Dallas in Farmers Branch. Are you familiar with Farmers Branch?
Oh, yes, yeah.
And there was a really good electronics store in Farmers Branch. Is it still there, Guy?
No, and I forget his name, but he had been around for decades and decades. He was quite a buyer of used equipment, and you'd walk into his place, he had everything. But he finally retired. He was getting up there in years, and just he didn't like the travel associated because he has to go to so many places to find products to turn around and sell. But yeah, that I wish I could remember the name of that because yeah, decades ago he was the place to go to.
Well, I can remember, it was a short 2.5 hour drive from Oklahoma City down to
Yeah,
Farmers Branch. And of course, my good friend Al N5UM spent a lot of time down in Farmers Branch. So we get to hook up with Al.
yeah,
But he's also up in Oklahoma City now. And of course, Al was up a few weeks ago for the RRL DX contest. So we got to see Al. And
uh,
one of these years, hopefully Al will make it up to Hamvention as well. But there's a lot of buzz about guys going to Hamvention and getting ready for that. So that's why
yeah,
I asked. But you're absolutely right. The whole world doesn't stop, and we have to make sure that during Hamvention you're on the phones and taking care of our customers. And Guy, how long have you been with DX Engineering now?
Oh goodness, I think I'm about 3.5 years. The time has just flown by.
Three and a
But
half years, and you've been
yeah,
working from home the whole time, and taking calls, taking care of emails, and most importantly, taking care of our customers and being an
yep,
Elmer to you know hundreds of guys that have called you over the years. And I want to thank you and all the guys. I see Kate DV is on here as well, and Dave. Kate DV is another one of our remote employees. Hi, Tim and Guy. Hope you're having a great first day of spring, and antenna season is upon us,
yeah.
even at Dave's QTH. But again, thanks for coming on today, Guy. And it's kind of a neat story. You were in the chat room before you were even an employee. You were in the chat room.
That's right. Yeah.
Here on these shows, and I'll never forget that. And thanks for all you do to take care of the customers.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be a part of the team here.
Well, it is a great team, and it's nice to have employees throughout the country, in Nevada and Texas, and also in Ohio. So we're very fortunate. But thanks for coming on today, Guy, and we'll see everybody next time. Until then, 73 from DX Engineering.
73.